Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you doing? It is the 27th of December, 2016. Time for another day to do technical analysis. We can go through the dollar pairs. We can go through the yen pairs. We got some news on the calendar, but I'm not sure if anyone is around to even pay attention. Some, what is it, Case Shiller, some realist, that kind of stuff. But it's just an opportunity, really, for us to get together as a team, talk technicals, talk fundamentals, just talk shop. And I'm looking forward to it. And namaste to you as well. So let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, it's not necessarily indicative of future results, so please always stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. My name is Wayne. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategy for TradersWay.com. I do these sessions 7:30 in the morning, Monday through Thursday, and every Friday at FX Street, where I'm also Forex Speaker of the Year at FX Street. They're premium webinars where you have to pay money. The first Friday of every month, I do non-farm payrolls live, which is the highest or most attended Forex webinar ever in history. And I've been doing that for, close to 11 years. So good to see you. I want to make you a better trader. And you don't pay me any money, so the way that you show me loyalty for all the efforts that we do every single day, free cigars, or you just simply open up a trading account at TradersWay.com. Because I can tell you, we care about you, the service is good, the execution is fast, the prices and fees are competitive, and you get me. So, without further ado, let's play the happy song and get into the charts. What do you stink? Smell like a plan? Thank you to Forex.Today for hosting us once again. We love you, Forex.Today. Where's my desktop? Over here. Coolio. So, how you doing for the month? Have you hit your monthly goals? We're essentially down to the last few days of the month. It's the 27th. You got the end of the year coming up. Many of the markets today are even still closed. I think only maybe, half the markets are open today? This is open, but not that kind of stuff. We got the President of the United States in Hawaii and the Vice President of the United States in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And, of course, I'm in Georgia, suffering the horrible winter weather in Georgia. I have my windows open today, the 27th of December. Open it up. It's tropical and foggy this morning. I said, forget it. I'm not driving into the office. Always feel good, right? Always feel good. So you're doing all right? Come on, guys. Talk to me, Goose. You know what? And it's so hot in here. I just turned the light on, and that heats things up. I got to take my crimson off, but I yell at my children if it touches the floor. Oh, come on, stupid headset. So how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to Uncle Wayne. There we go. Oh, did I have a good Christmas? Of course I had a great Christmas. Yeah, it was nice. Family, children, food. Yeah, it's all good. Actually, I cooked I did a lot of cooking, but of course other people did too. But I did a beautiful rib roast, like prime rib with all the ribs in it, and it was actually a good cut of meat. It was great. Oh, I sound like I've had some rest. Well, I went many days with very little sleep. I've been working on projects even over the holidays. So what I do is I wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, check my phone, 3 o'clock in the morning, check my phone, 4 o'clock in the morning, check my phone, that kind of stuff. So I think you call that 8 hours of sleep, right? Cool, but whatever. I was looking at my stats for December, 62.9% winners. A little low. How'd you guys do? So I'm a little low on the winning percentage. The average profitable trade was a little low, but there was lots of scalping. And again, not really what I want to be doing, but that's just kind of what I got stuck with. That's just how the year turned out. So not very happy, but not very upset either. So how'd you do? You just run a report. So what'd you get? I got 62.90 profitable trades. Anybody? Jeff got 100% winners. You took 3 trades. $64.9. That's good. That's good, right? You kind of want to get it. Yeah, Marina's a little. Yeah, that's kind of 73 is high, right? That's good, Marina. I'm thinking, you really want to hit sort of like the 66, right? If you're higher than, let's say, 75, then you're probably not making enough trades. Now, Marina's made a lot of trades, right? What number of trades did you take, Marina? Do you know? I think you trade a lot, right? So like if you make 3 trades a day, you're like, yeah, okay. Jeff only took 1 trade and 100% winners, right? Yeah, man. Yeah, well, for the month of December, 372 trades, 62.9 winners. So that's about, what, 15 trades a day. Is it I don't know what you mean, Nick. Profit factor is 1.61. Expected payoff, 19.92. I'm looking here. So my $30,000 account went to $40,000 account. So anyways, percentage-wise, it's there. The reason I'm not super happy is it's not what I intended. It's not what I wanted. So that's all. But sometimes you just gotta. I mean, the Trump election drop and pop took me out, right? Took me out of a lot. So after that, it's scramble, right? Right, just scramble. So whatever. All right. So, anyways, let's go through like the commodities, and let's just go through the routine. Okay, I am looking at. Yeah, that is a monthly. That's December. I think, where does it say the date? Wayne McDonell, December. Yeah, see. Closed transactions, right? And then of course the way that people lie is they tell you their closed positions, and they're like, I'm an 80% winner, and then you look at their open positions, and they have 27 losing trades in their open positions, and they forgot to tell you about those. I don't have any working positions. I'm out of everything going into the end of the year. I just didn't have carries, right? So anyways, that's it. So anyways, I got through it alive, right? That's a good month, right? When you get through the month alive. But that's the, you know, that's the fun account. All right, so yeah, so back to the world. Here we go, back to the world. We're just stuck in a range bound for a while, huh? Right, just sort of stuck in here. But notice a week ago, I guess, we looked at this and we identified the high side and the low side, right? If you're a bull, you buy at the bottom. If you're if you're bull, sell. It's a lot of. I mean, you can see this breached a little bit, but I'll tell you what I'm looking for. Not just in crude, but just anything. I'm looking sort of a pan. The markets are thin. I want you to be cautious in the sense that the technical analysis may not work the way you think it's going to work. Why would your technical analysis possibly fail, not produce the result you expect? Thin volume, exactly. Well, it's not end of year. Just it's lack of participants, really. I mean, you could have all the market participants not trading, but what's happening is we don't have a full market, and where you would think bulls would be, they may not be there. Where bears might be, they may not be there. Or right, exactly, Nick, because it's self-fulfilling, right? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Or you sell where you're supposed to, and it doesn't go any higher than the resistance, as you would expect, but then it doesn't fall very far either, because there's no one else to add on, or there's no stops to hit. You see what I mean? So just be careful, but around certain market times, like the stock market open, stock market close, you might see like sort of the year-end idea of suddenly someone gets out. And I think there's going to be more getting out than getting in idea, right? So we may not see like an increase in something. Just let's say if there's a market that's heavily bearish, it may go up, not because people are buying it, but because people that are already short are getting out before the end of the year. And so therefore we may want to be long. So counter trend sort of moves maybe? What do you think? Right? So we gotta pay attention to that. Just nice, calm. Everything's nice and calm. Kind of relaxed, which is good. I'm stiff. Look, I can barely turn my head left. I can barely turn my head right. I'm like, yeah. So I think I'm going to do some yoga today. And by yoga, I mean drink sake. I know they have nothing to do with each other, but that's my version of it. Yeah, here's my version of yoga. Put on pajamas, drink sake. You're like, but yoga's not even Japanese. And I said, shut up! All right, so anyway, so oil going nowhere fast, but be careful, right? So find the lines. For example, I don't really think people want to buy oil, so wouldn't it be neat, wouldn't it be coolio if just suddenly oil drops? Right? Hey, by the way, if I did an annual conference for Forex traders in a tropical location during the North American winter, aka just after New Year's or something, would you come? Where we get a bunch of traders, maybe 100 or maybe 200, maybe 1,000 over, down the road. We all meet up in an exotic location. Because I'd like to try interesting things like, wouldn't it be interesting if we got 1,000 traders together and you had to be a baller, right? Like maybe not a billionaire or a millionaire, but you got some success under your belt. And just for fun, right? Just for fun, we all make the same trade at the exact same time and see if we can move the market. Would it be awesome just to say we did it? It's sort of like getting everyone in a time zone to jump at the same time and see if you can like move the earth. You don't want everyone on earth to jump at the same time because we'd offset each other, but what would happen if everyone in the United States jumped at the exact same time? Would it tilt the earth, right? Or what if everyone in China did it, right? Can we spin the world backwards? So anyways, wouldn't it be great just say, all right, here we go. Let's all go, Euro Nikki. On 3, 2, 1, execute! And watch it just take off. Woohoo! And we all take a screenshot, right? We all take a photo with the market moving, and there's 1,000 of us going, yeah, we are the market. We are the market. We are the makers. We are the ones that make a better day. Yeah, be great, huh? As big as they can, Jeffrey boy, because we'd all make money. You know what I'm talking about? Right? So anyways. And of course the opposite would be wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Short! Boom! And take it back down and make money on the way back down too. Just pay for the whole weekend, everybody, right? Wouldn't that be awesome? There you go, weekend paid for. You're like, damn, I just made $5,000. You're like, well, guess what the ticket price is? Yeah. No. Yeah, but wouldn't you? Well, it's just slow, Anthony. But look, nothing's happened in the time I've been talking. The 5-minute candle hasn't moved. So there you go. But wouldn't you want to do that just with your fellow traders? Just like, can you imagine 100 people in the room? We move a market because of it. We make $5,000. We all high five each other, and the rest of the time we're on the beach. You're like, okay, now we got business taken care of. Now you can write it off on your taxes because you came to this professional conference. Paid for by the thin market of the euro Norwegian krona. I mean, we were talking about that actually, weren't we? File, new chart. Oh, I hate this version. All right, go to that, and then let's go to here. All right, we were talking about long bombing the euro Noki right at the end of the year, right? You guys remember that? Let's change the template, huh? Let's do standard. Ah, that feels so much better. You guys remember talking about this long bombing at the end of the year for almost the exact same reason? That the market is so thin, yet Norway does a ton of business with euro. And they have, their central bank has to do a lot to manage their exchange rate. So it's like a real currency, so to speak. But this time of year, it may be one of the, tied with the big global economy. But generally speaking, right, the thinnest in the herd, right? So anyways, it kind of looks like it's been down for a while, right? But you remember talking about it down here about maybe like a month ago? Do you remember that? The idea is that it could just suddenly go up for some reason. A week ago, a month ago, I can't remember when it was. Right? I think it was probably near the beginning of December. Yeah, I mean, it might have been exactly right in here. Does anyone remember that, or am I just mumbling on? I think it's yeah. I think a little birdie landed on my shoulder. So, anyways, it's been up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days now. Right? But the idea is it could just do like one of these spikes, could just like all of a sudden jump from here to here. Just all of a sudden, there could be 3 ginormous days, and all of a sudden we're way up here again. Up 400 or 500 pips. No joke, right? In the next week, I'm not saying it will happen, but it could. And so I said, it could go up. I didn't mean like this. I mean all of a sudden 500 pips up. For no logical reason, no intelligent reason, no economic data, no change in central bank policy, just because somebody likes to do it. Just because they can. Okay. Now look at here. So that's 9.1. Well, actually 9.2. All of a sudden it spiked up at the end of the year to 9.5. So I don't know. So I don't know. Wouldn't it be interesting? But who the heck buys euro, right? That's the problem this year, isn't it? So what do you want to do? Just flip to something good? What would be something good? There's a choice we're making. We're trading all our lives. Right? So you're like, well, maybe that's it. But that's dollar. That seems a lot of dollar, huh? Of course, what trend could also explain this, Lucy? How you explain this, Lucy? Huh? How would you explain this? Come on, man. How would you explain this? Oil. Thank you. So that's why like a Euro Noki, I mean, maybe it's just a central bank. Maybe Norway does it, spikes it up at the end of the year, and they want euro or something, right? Nick wants to know if I believe yen will continue to strengthen in January. Well, who told you the yen would strengthen in the first place? What kind of idiot would do that after a 7 or actually probably more like a 12-week run? Oh, was it me? Oh, genius, genius, genius. So when did I say it would end? Yeah. Hmm? Yeah. Well, did you send me cigars for Christmas or for New Year's? If you don't believe in Christmas, huh? Did you? Did you? Right, Ronnie boy? Huh? Right, Ronnie boy? Ron knows. Yeah. So I'm collecting so that I'll just sign up for Cigar of the Month Club. Yeah. Yeah, actually, no, I only bring it up because I got like 3 emails about it, and I haven't followed up with anybody. I've been too busy. Let me see if I can find it again. Oh, here it is. Whatever. So it's a virtual gift card type thing. So anyways, yeah, so I already actually, Nick, I already answered this in like July, as they say in Georgia. July. Yeah, probably till the 3rd week of January. Right? Yeah, and then Pedro's got the right idea. Then a bit of a bounce, maybe. Some years we get it. Some I don't think we got the bounce last year. The yen just got stronger and stronger and stronger. But very often there's sort of like a February bounce, and then the yen starts to strengthen again in March. So Pedro's got it. Pedro writes things down, huh? Yeah. So imagine an army of Forex traders stationed around the world trading. Right? Do you think you could do that? Trading as a team, but you don't really want a team because what happens is everyone's cycles, link up, and all of a sudden we're all doing the same thing for the same reason. Right? So for example, I said, the yen's going to weaken, the yen's going to weaken, the yen's going to weaken. Look at the Japanese yen in the 3rd week of August, it's going to weaken. And all of a sudden, probably everyone would do the same thing. But it was me that did the analysis, the blood, sweat, and tears for years, right? And then we get up here, right? The second week of December, and I'm like, get ready, it's going to end, it's going to end, it's going to end, it's going to end, and then it ends. But again, that was me. I made those decisions, I did the research. What I would prefer is 25 or 30 or 40 currency traders stationed around the world, trading a little of everything independent of each other. You know what I mean? But if I can get you started, see, the goal is if I can keep you alive as a currency trader through the first year, second year, first, 3rd year, right? You'll survive. So like one of the things that I remember doing in the very beginning for myself is I needed to ensure I survived through the first 3 years. Because if I could do that, I would likely be able to do this forever. You understand? Not really a psychological issue, but you don't want to blow up your trading account when you're not a very good trader. Because let's say in your first year when you're not a very good trader, what if you lose 50% of your trading account? It makes you desperate your second year, in which you're a bit better of a trader, but you're still not a fantastic trader, so you're still prone to make mistakes. You won't make as many mistakes, or maybe not very many mistakes at all, but your mistakes are ginormous because you're desperate. You jacked up the leverage or something, right? And of course, the worst thing is to have like a 12-week, right? A 12-week success in desperate mode. So you keep leveraging, and then there's a boom. And you never make it to the third year, right? One too many landmines. So that's why, like, my business planning retreat, which I've talked a lot about, and it's in my book, I believe, it was so important to me because I realized that I don't need the added mental stress of having to produce a lot of money this year. I always had a 3-year plan, and I knew I didn't need to produce this year at all. I just needed to do my average. Didn't even need to try to make home runs. Home runs were bad and stupid. Big winners were potential threats, not opportunities. So I just stayed small. And in the second year, I just stayed small. In fact, mathematically, even though the lot size increased, risk-wise, I was actually smaller in the second year than the first year. And then the third year, once again, ratio-wise, the lot size was bigger, but the risk was actually even smaller in the third year than the first year. Think of that. Over the course of time, I took less and less risk. You see what I mean? So if I can get through those first 3 years, by the fourth year, I'm a skilled, patient, disciplined trader that's risk averse. That sounds like a pretty good trader to me. That's what I said to myself. That's the type of trader I wanted to be. And I actually started because I had no mentors. In fact, not only did I have no mentors, there was no education, and there wasn't even I never even met a Forex trader. Remember, I was a speaker at the very first Forex Trading Expo in Las Vegas. There wasn't any Forex traders, right? There were none. They didn't talk about it on TV like they do now and stuff. It was a weird thing. So I actually created a fictitious person that I could look up to. And that person's name was the perfect trader. And I'm like, well, what kind of trader is like that? And that's the one that is patient, disciplined, focused, low risk, high return. How do you get the high return with low risk? Grow your trading account. Huh. So like one thing you can do right away is say in your first 3 years, you pay yourself 1/3 of your profits and 2/3 go into your trading account. Well, Daniel says consistent winner, and I can't say that I was, especially in the beginning, I wasn't very consistent in winners, but I was consistent in the my approach, and also consistent in risk, right? So I tried to apply my behavior consistently, but like this idea of that, I knew I didn't need to make big money. I didn't need a big trade. I didn't need big risk. In fact, I proved to myself mathematically that I didn't want big risk. I didn't want a big winner. I didn't want to make big trades. I wanted to give myself a chance to develop the skills so I could have consistent winners. I wanted to survive. My first goal was to live. I mean, that was my number one goal, was to stay a currency trader and survive the first 3 years. Now, I had to live humbly. I went from VP of a firm of 300 employees to suddenly working all night in my home office. Paying myself as little as possible. And that's how I became an exotic dancer. But I always had dance in my soul. So the combination of being a trader during the day and a dancer at night fulfilled my emotional need. Yeah. Have you ever seen a Canadian dance? A Canadian man? Oh my God. Make Al Gore look like a salsa dancer. Yeah. Yeah, Daniel's seen it. Oh, you just got to turn away. You're like, oh, is that guy hurt? Is he injured? Is he having a fit? No, he's dancing. Yeah, in Calgary. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So honestly, like you should do it if you need to dance at night to save your money, so you can not pay yourself your. I mean, it's a real piece of advice. Be a very, very serious trader. Take it very, very, very seriously, and slowly grow your trade account for 3 years. It has nothing to do with making money. I want you to grow your trading account, never pay yourself, never take a big risk, just fall in love with the mediocrity, just sitting down every day, doing your job, reading reports, reading charts, setting up trades, little scalp trades, medium swing trades, doing these trades, waiting for the longer trades, buying in there, and but never loading the boat, never trying too hard. Just do your job for 3 years and grow that trading account. And if you need money to survive, then do something on the side to simply pay for your opportunity to become a trader. I have to pay for Harvard. Did you know it's not free? They're not paying me money to go to Harvard. They're charging me money. Well, think of it like that. Like, your Forex account doesn't pay you money your first 3 years. You need to pay it money. Take a side job if you don't have savings. Grow your trading account, because we know, right? We know over the time one of the key components of the amount of money you make is assets under management. So if you pay yourself in the first year, or if you pay yourself in the second year, or you pay yourself in the third year, you will make a lot less money. A lot. Very significantly less. Because at the end of 3 years, you'll have more than you started with, but probably not a lot more. And you'll be stuck, let's say, paying yourself $3,000 a month or whatever it is, month after month after month. Well, the other guy that started with the same amount of money, that took a job to make his ends meet, but still grew the trading account, well, in his fourth or fifth year, he's making $11,000 a month, and you're still making $3,000. Doing the same trades, doing the same thing. Everything's the same, except his assets under management grew because he wasn't paying himself. He never took, or she never took money out of the account, just grew it for 3 years and stayed humble while, having to do this day job on the side just so that they don't have to withdraw money from their account. It's humbling and belittling maybe, but you're like, man, if I just took money out of the account now, I could just make more money than I'm making doing this stupid side job. But you know what? You can't do it. Don't do it, because you'll stay at the smaller level for longer. You know what I mean? You need to do the spreadsheet. I did it for myself, and I realized it's the most important thing. Not risk, asset under management. Right? For example, you might have to take out half your profits to pay yourself $3,000 a month, and someone else only has to take out 10%, let's say, and pay them $3,000 per month. The difference is the percentage, right? Not the amount. Which means if that means 90% can go back into the trading account. So the next month you only have to pay yourself 8% and pay to get your 3,000. And the month after that, because your account size grew significantly even more, in fact more, right? 92%, right? So now the next month you only need 6% to get your 3,000. Well, the other guy's still paying himself 30% or 50% or 60% for the 3K because the account grows so slowly. You want to grow your account exponentially. You want to get filthy, stinking rich trading Forex in your 5th year or your 10th year. And you should have a mental set like that, right? You're like, well, Wayne, that's a long time to commit to something. By the time I'm done with Harvard, it'll be 6 years. Yeah, I signed up for six years at Harvard. You're like, what? No one will laugh at me. No one will laugh at me. 6 years from now, no one will laugh at me. You have a master's degree from Harvard? What kind of loser are you, dude? Seriously? What a dummy. Yeah, no, of course it's commitment. I have to live on campus. Not the whole year, just the summers. I mean, like, what? Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about, right? Who's going to laugh at you? How about this? You'll find out maybe your friends and family might laugh at you because you only make a little bit per month. You're like, he's doing that Forex thing. He's hardly making any money. He's been doing it for 3 years. And the guy's still got a side job because he's got this stupid dream about being a big trader of some sort, some Forex thing. He's in some weird scam, right? And all your friends and family are telling you that. And it's only because you're staying small and staying humble, growing your trading account by not paying yourself. What happens when you buy that Ferrari? Oh, that guy, he's so egotistical maniac. He thinks he's so hot in his Ferrari. He's just a degenerate gambler. He's going to lose it. All he cares about is his fancy cars. He's just an egotistical, shallow. So you're like, dude, Mom, Mom, I can hear you. Yeah. No, but you know, that's all. So anyways, be small, stay humble. Okay? Take your time, bro. Enjoy it. Seriously, just imagine the mental aspect of that. Take your time, enjoy it. What do? Oh, I'm a currency trader and I'm loving it. I've only been doing it full time for a couple of years, but I love it. Yeah, Mike says don't listen to the haters, right? Because the haters going to hate, 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 hate. And I'm right, and I'm going to pip, 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 pip. So take it small, man. So here's gold. Notice how we're just sort of faltering down into here. This is the day, right? We got a little pullback kind of at the end of the year. So you need to decide what you want to do. Cool thing is I've already decided. Isn't that funny? Makes it so much easier. So we're stuck at the top here. I'm going to mark the price. Actually, it'll tell us if I let go of this. Okay. I wanted the exact price of the 21. I guess I might have to value 1156. We'll call it 1157. 1157. Okay. 1157. Oh, look at the weekly R3. So we know up there, right here now, is the daily 21, which is a sell zone. Now, remember, it is moving, right? So we got to pay attention to these things. If you wanted to sell gold, this would have been great. Now, of course, it's holidays and stuff. But you know, 3 days from now, this will probably be down here anyways, right? And that's the shooting in front of a moving target idea. Okay. Just don't get a Gallardo, man. Get a real one. Yeah, exactly. So we know we got some topside resistance here. Notice how it reverses. Now, again, and I got to say the obvious, but it really makes an impact psychologically and I mean subconsciously, psychologically, like back here, brainstem kind of stuff to answer these questions. You know, do you believe that the gold market, the entire gold market priced by all market participants around the entire world, do you think this drop had anything to do with either 1150 psychological number and or weekly R2? Right? Amazing, isn't it? So I don't have very many hard and fast rules, but one that you may have heard is if you're trading pivot points, weekly pivot points in particular, if you hit weekly R2 as a bull or weekly S2 as a bear, you have to take profit. How many people have heard that one? I talk about it a lot less these days, but if you were trading with me, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, that was a big deal. We talked about it a lot. I talk about other things now, but it is there in my spirit, right? So when you see things like that and it drops like a ton of bricks, right? I sort of expect to see that, right? And I look at that and I'm like, wow, how amazing, right? So in the next day or so, if it does spike up off of the 21, which at this point it's supposed to, right? On this time frame, it's supposed to try to at least make a higher high. Doesn't mean it has to or whatever. I can't get this down. It won't. All right. So on this time frame, it's supposed to go back up. Okay? And in my mind, it probably will. I don't double guess the 21. It's supposed to go up. Probably will. Okay? Now, based on this resistance, maybe it double tops and drops here. Or okay, but we got to pay attention to that. Above the 21 on the hours suggests that it will go back up. And maybe it goes up and makes a higher high. Okay? But at 57, my next plan would be to sell there too. Why here? Weekly R3 and what else? Weekly R3 and what else is up there? Don't tell me resistance. Of course it's resistance. Yes, daily 21. Thank you. Daily 21. Okay. And then, of course, layered on top of all of this is that I'm fundamentally a bear. So I won't buy it. Okay. Okay. More likely than not, I would think, even though it's supposed to go up, and because I'm a bear, I'm thinking more like this, where I'm a bear on this time frame, it's going up, but it stopped and reversed exactly where I would expect it to, which tells me the bulls took profit here and there were bears ready to sell into them, right? So even though the 21 is here, I'm still thinking down, up. Let's just play it off the M4. And then this would confirm the reversal, wouldn't it? And let's just call it down to support. Okay. Now, of course, being holiday week and stuff like that, it could just wimp out at the weekly central and just kind of basically not go up anymore. But there could be a huge year-end move, right? So we got to pay attention to that. So remember, you almost have to be counterintuitive about everything. that what if just everyone gets out? Well, is everyone short? Well, this is a physical market somewhere, so there is a true underlying asset here, right? But a currency could be different. Yes, Pedro, that is true. Not just have I decided days before, often weeks and even months. Now, one of the things that didn't really pan out for me, but we did talk about intellectually, because remember, sometimes just things don't work out that way. Brexit took over, but we did talk almost a year in advance about an improvement in UK GDP, literally a year in advance. Okay, obviously that far out, you face some, there's the known unknowns, which I knew about. I knew what I didn't know, but then there's the things the unknown that I didn't know about, the unknown, as Donald Rumsfeld would say. The unknown was Brexit. But at least I'm thinking ahead about how do you calculate GDP? What are the inputs for the current calculation? And what would the future calculations likely be? So there's lots of assumptions. And based on those assumptions, what would the end result be? And if that result came to be, what would the market's reaction be to it? Especially if they were not prepared for it. And I believe that they were just not smart enough to do the basic calculation, that even though there's hedge fund managers out there handling billions of dollars worth of assets under management, that they just simply can't think ahead and do basic calculations on GDP. They just wait for the number. So anyways, that's my alpha. That's how I sleep at night, kind of thing, right? So anyways, what do you want to do with this? I don't want to do anything with this. I'm still a buyer of this, but I'm very neutral. I'm a neutral buyer. Because I believe the dollar will be strong, but I also believe the yen will be strong. And I believe I did say it, 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago at the interview. And by the way, did you notice that was the top of all the yen moves? I explained the difference between economic fundamentals and financial fundamentals. And that a fundamental analysis of financial flows would dictate the end of a move coming. And it turned out to be that very day. Cool. What a lucky dog. Hallelujah. Nothing, huh? So stay neutral. You can see we're on a high zone, right? Let's just move this across. Right, I'm going to connect those wicks, if you will, right? So it doesn't look like a buy zone, does it? And what happens at the end of the month? Would I assume this goes up or down? Down. Huh. Well, we're getting there. It's the 27th. And I wonder if Mexican Americans or Mexicans in America have been sending money home a little bit early this year. Is that plausible? It's actually Pedro says 2 billion. It's actually 2.34 billion, but I'm just, look, Pedro, you left $340 million on the table, bro. Okay. Come on, clever Pedro. We expect more. Can you imagine you're telling your boss, things get out of control when you're dealing with big money, right? And you're just like, look, dude, it's 234 million. What are you complaining about? It's like crumbs, man. Oh, oh. Ba 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 da da do 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 da 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 da. What else going on, Bubba? Just kind of looking around. Um, there are some. So we were looking at CAD yen. I know I had it up. I'm looking over there. CAD yen's interesting because it's on the daily 21, and several days ago, I guess last week, we were on the daily 21 for the Kiwi yen, but we fizzled through it. It's hard to call it a break, but we fizzled through it. But we fizzled through the Aussie. Aussie's been weaker than the Kiwi. Right? We're on the daily 21 on Beast, for example. I guess, why don't we do Beast? Everybody loves the Beast, huh? I think we got our news. We got some news, right? At 8:30, but I think the other stuff's more like 10 o'clock. The Beast. All right, so here's the Beast on the 5-minute. Go to the daily. I guess that's not the greatest template, but anyways, let's just zoom in. No, it's not the best. Let me put that back. Beep, beep. Pivots, no pivots. That doesn't actually show you the 21. 4 hour. I guess we got to get this without the pivots. I don't want to. All right, I don't want to monkey with this. So you'll just have to look at it and trust me. All right, see how we're on the 21. Get rid of the fibbo. See, we're right on the 21 here. And we're like that on CAD yen. And the other stuff through the thin markets kind of dip below and they're trying to come back. So it's hard to call. But if you were a end of year buyer, that would be pretty much the only place to do it. That's, the last logical place. That's sort of like your bullish Alamo, right? If you want to take this long into January, which is plausible, it can happen. But, what I was suggesting to you guys, last week and the week before would be like all this move down would be a bad opportunity, right? Bad opportunity, bad opportunity. Don't buy it, don't buy it, don't buy it, don't buy it. But down to the 21, that's your last Alamo. Even that is mediocre, right? Nick says, yeah, daily candles are thin, but it's like, okay, now that you're there and you're on a pivot point, do you take little shots and then jam your stop? Like, look, this has been going up for what, an hour and a half? You're telling me you couldn't get long there and jam a stop? Just for fun. Have no intention to get out. You either break even or you just let it run. You're like, oh, yeah, I know it's probably coming down. So as long as you can jam your stop. Of course, the other side of it is, just stay a bear. Right? What's the bearish plan? Something in here. Okay. You know that works very well with this, right? Okay. You could range trade it today if you wanted to. You could do yesterday's high. Okay. And you can filter this with your bias. So, for example, even if you're range trading, but you're a bear, you only sell at resistance. You can still maintain that. Okay. Use yesterday's low. Use yesterday's high. This is called an inside day. Filter everything with your bias. That's why it's there. $8:30. I didn't get any news. No news. So it's all at what, 10? After the stock market open? Yeah. Short under the daily pivot. Well, yeah. Now we're going to get into like the daily pivots and stuff. I don't even know what the daily pivots are. I'm sorry. I don't think I would look at the daily pivots today. I mean, there's the daily central, right? I don't think anybody cares about that. The market's so thin that for you to really get some traders to go along with you, you should use at least weekly pivots. And what? Your daily pivots are based on what? How did you calculate your daily pivots? Based on yesterday's trading? Who was trading yesterday? You see what I mean? And so I think we will have more traders today than yesterday. And I think we'll have more traders tomorrow than today. You see what I mean? So daily, irrelevant. Resistance is futile. But I'm a sentient being. I want to live. I want to dance and sing. Irrelevant. You will be assimilated. Right? You ever have dreams where you wake up in the middle of the night and someone turned you into an algo? No, I'm an independent trader, damn it. You will trade every MACD cross. No! Like Tron for currency traders, right? I'm more than an EA. I'm a man. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I have problems. I'm working through it. So here's your beast. That's a beautiful trade. I don't know how long I set that up. Looks like about the 15th of the month. What country was I in? Oh, this was probably when I just got back from the island, huh? Cool. Look at the triangle. I drew a nice little triangle and everything. Very nice, Wayne. That looks nice. How did we come up with that projection? Let's take a look. Lovely. Looks like a Fibonacci retracement. Yeah. Halfway to halfway. Cool. Good call, Wayne. So Wayne last week, or Wayne a week and a half ago, said this would come down to 143. We're on 143.75, so we're just taking our time through the thin markets. But thank you, Wayne of the past. Cool. Now remember, let me put this in context. This is after a higher high. So what would a bull normally do in a scenario like that? Wouldn't you have this? Oops. Wouldn't you have this? Wouldn't it be logical and intelligent to have it set up like this for a buy? If you're a bull, like you've been long for 12 weeks. Why? Right? You see the 618? I mean, as a bull, it's clearly going up, right? Based on everything I've taught you on technical analysis, going back years and years and years, right? What's different here? Why would I suddenly be selling rallies in an uptrend? Alpha. See, there's nothing technically there to say that it's going to come down, right? It's interesting, isn't it? I think. Because in other scenarios like this, we would buy again. We would buy again, we'd buy again, this is going to go up forever, blah, 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 blah. So again, we started talking about this right here. This is where I did the live interview from the Four Seasons, right? And I think, was it in here that I did from the beach from my villa? So this was from St. Martin. This was Nevis, right? It was just like, why, if we bought here, we bought here, we bought here, we bought here, and we bought here, and we bought here, why the hell would we sell that? It makes no sense, does it? Oh, the divergence. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Divergence in multiple time frames you can see here. Okay, what does the divergence mean? We haven't talked about divergence in a while, but good call, Jeff. You want to use it here, or do you want to do MACD divergence? See, we wouldn't have had the MACD yet, because you can look at this and draw the MACD, but I mean, we can add a MACD if you wanted, but. Well, no. What does the divergence tell us? It's not, I mean, that's the cause, but it doesn't, okay, what does divergence tell you? Weak uptrend. Yes. What it means, or the answer that I'm looking for, is that there's profit taking from the bulls. It's a bullish market. There are no bears, but they're starting. So if you start seeing, oscillators come down, so let's call this the beginning of the down. Okay. And yet price is going up. What this is telling me is the herd is thinning. Okay. So this move here took a lot of people out. Okay. Okay. And there's significantly, let's say the difference in price between this and this is how much? None. Okay. But there may be 50% less open interest, for example. And that's an opportunity for bears to pounce, right? So I found a photographer that took a picture for National Geographic. And I'm like, I need that. I need this photo. It's the most amazing photo I've seen in a very, very long time. And I look at it as a trader, and it has deep meaning. But the photograph is just amazing in its capture of movement. And I'll explain it. I think the Grand Teton area is something. What's the other? Yellowstone. It must be Yellowstone, right on the edge of the Grand Tetons, where there's like no people. There, the park is so big that there's all tourists in one area, but there's most of the park is just purely for the animals, right? And there's up sort of closer to Wyoming, where on one side of the Grand Tetons, which are really beautiful, very sharp-looking mountain range, because it's actually the edge of a volcano, super volcano, in fact. But anyways, the park rangers had taken out a bison buffalo carcass from a buffalo that had died. So they took it to dispose of it in a place where the animals could take care of business naturally, right? So they moved this giant animal, and it's in the just this flat open, uh, um, plains kind of area with wild grass growing, and way out in the back are the beautiful Grand Tetons, and you can tell that it's unspoiled land, right? And here's this bison or a bull with the horns on it and everything, lying dead, being eaten by the bears, like a grizzly bear is eating it, the carcass. I mean, I'm like, bulls and bears, right? I'm like, wow. And meanwhile, there are crows flying down and picking up little bits of meat, and some of them are flying, and you could even see like the tips of the feathers on the tips of their wings in mid-flight, sort of as they're flying and turning. And there's other ones on the ground. They're not vultures. They're giant ravens and stuff. And I'm like, well, that's us. I'm not these big institutional players, right? I'm not but this bear is eating a bull. Meanwhile, there's ravens and crows flying around trying to get their piece. I'm like, that's the entire market. Oh my God, and they're all moving. You can see the movement. It's just incredible. I'm like, I'm going to get that for my office. And I got to track down the photographer, because they took it like with like an 8K camera or something. I mean, it's such high resolution, and it's such a fast take that, I mean, you can see, like I said, the feathers bending as the crows are coming back down to land into the feed zone. I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. I see the whole market, and here, as crazy as it sounds, that's what it makes me think of. That the bull is getting old here. Now it's died, and now the ravens are coming in, and the bears are showing up. And it's just natural. The old bull has run his course. Very cool, I think. Of course, I don't have the picture. And I only saw it in a magazine, but I saw it, and I'm like, I got to get that. And honestly, it's such an amazing photograph that if somebody painted it, you would think it would look fake. That's the other part of the photograph, because you look at it and you're like, holy smokes, is that amazing? And if someone painted it, you're like, it wouldn't be like that in real life, right? Right? You're like, that's not what it'd be like in real life. That's why you got to see the photograph. Because then you're like, oh my God, is that a photograph? That's amazing. How do you get the Renko's? No. No, I don't think so. No. Ikamucho, Renko. No, I don't think I got Renko. Yeah, you're going to have to Google that, man. Someone else. Oh, you found the picture? I'm looking it up too as you speak. Let me take a look at yours. Yeah, that's it. It's totally it. Look at this, guys. Thank you for getting that. Now, the thing is, this has been like made for computers. It's actually significantly wider than this. I believe it's widescreen, but how about that? Look at the raven here. So we're the crows. You get it? In this natural battle and natural cycle of life, in the harsh environment where look, there's no other food anywhere. In this harsh environment, right? It's a battle for everybody, right? And I'm like, that's me. That's me right there, right? But look at the movement of these birds. Look at the feet hanging out and stuff. Like, that can't be real. If somebody painted that, you're like, that a raven wouldn't do that. That's not right. You didn't do it properly, right? But the fact that it's a camera, this bear eating the bull, and us trying to fill our bellies on this process. I'm like, that to me is amazing, isn't it? And as ironic as it is, this is the same picture. And I'm not joking. Totally not joking. This is the same thing, not with pixels, but with price and time. Just different art, but the same thing. The bull is dead. But we still need to eat. Huh? Isn't that cool? Look at that. What an amazing photo. And if you're a photographer, if you've ever been a photographer, you would know that you need an amazing camera for this. It's such high speed camera to catch a movement like that any other camera would just blur. That's why it's amazing. And then to do it at 8K, this guy's got like a ridiculous camera to catch movement like this in high resolution. It's ridiculous equipment. I mean, it's amazing. It's like IMAX kind of stuff, right? Like, yeah. So isn't it? Does anyone get it, or am I just being goofy? I looked at this and I just said, that's it. That's my whole world. That is the foreign exchange market with imagery, you know? Yeah. How amazing, huh? Rough and hostile. Look at you see it? Makes me think of Monty Python. It's just a bunny rabbit. Look at the bones. What's he gonna do? Nibble my bum? The bones. Yeah. I got a solution for this. Bring out the holy hand grenade. Yeah. But anyways, isn't it just like, I mean, I'm always dumbfounded because it's so perfect. Like, it's a bear eating a bull, like, for real. You know? I don't know. I have an emotional response to it. I don't know. So I got to get it. Now, but I want it like life size. I want the bear to be full size. I want like, people to come over to the house and they bring their children, and I want the children to pee their pants when they see it. Yeah, that's a good picture. Mommy! Don't go downstairs with that horrible man. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like the bones. These are the bulls that didn't get out when they were supposed to, right? The bones of lazy bulls, man. Hmm? The other interesting thing is the bear is all alone, right? He's the first one to eat. Yeah, totally. Hey, Nick. Yeah, so it's on my to-do list. I don't know. What I need is a wrap for my car or something. I don't have a car. You're like, what is that on your car? No, that's a bear eating a bull and a bunch of like ravens flying around, picking up scraps of meat. I love it. And you have a tattoo of that too? Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, fascinating stuff, I think. So I think you can tell, even though I've been doing this for, what, 12, 13, 14 years, I don't even know. I still love it. I'm still passionate about it. I still dig it. Nothing going on in the world today, except I was really excited to hang out with you guys. And, tomorrow I think will be a better trading day because I think we'll have more traders. I think you should watch the market open. I think you should watch the market close. There's a little bit of news at 10. These are all opportunities for people to do whatever they wanted to do. If they wanted to get out, they're going to get out. I don't think we're going to get a lot of people in. Like, oh my God, I need to get a whole bunch of money in right at the end of the year. I feel like a lot of people would want to take profit right before the end of the year, right? But remember, all of this is being set up for a bigger move in January. So you need to decide at some point, if you get in, when do you get in if you want to be short? Yeah, exactly, DeBista. Yeah, Ron says I need a mural of it. But that's the whole thing. It has to be the photograph. Again, I believe if somebody saw you paint this, or saw a painting of this, it would just look stupid. Right? Like, look at these ravens. I mean, look at the movement here. There's just no way that you're like, oh, that wouldn't be right. So I have another, I took an amazing photograph actually. I was flying from one island to another, flying over the Caribbean, just nothing but water. But you can look down and it's shallow enough where you can see coral and everything. It's quite beautiful. And I took a picture because I also like airplanes. This airplane, by the way, was so small you had to duck your head to get in, and you had to duck your head to get to your seat. Meanwhile, you're making yourself as small as possible, and you're still rubbing shoulders with the other passengers. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. That's how small the plane was, and I was basically sitting on the lap of the pilot, and I said, this actually makes me very uncomfortable. But anyways, I took a picture of the prop because I wanted to take a picture of the coral. And they come out as individual, separate, free-floating props. Like, you just see silver streaks, but you don't see the propeller. You don't see the propeller at all. You just see these like U-shaped, like kind of like what you see, where's my mouse? Kind of like what you see here with these feathers, right? All you see is like silver stripe, silver, silver, but they're not attached to where you would expect the propeller. They're just free-floating silver streaks of bending, just bendings of light. And it's pretty amazing. But you wouldn't paint it that way. You see what I mean? So anyways, I think it's amazing, and it has to be a photograph. I mean, look at you can see the raven's face. That's how high resolution it is. I mean, you can see his eye. How crazy. How awesome. So anyways. So maybe this time next year we'll meet up in a Caribbean island somewhere and smoke a cigar. I'm thinking about buying an island, growing tobacco, manufacturing rum, heirloom animals like actual wild boar, because I have a feeling meat doesn't even taste like meat. I think if someone from 100 years ago could be in a time machine and come and eat pork now, you'd say, well, what is this strange, rubbery, tasteless food? You're like, well, that's pork. That's pork loin. And he's like, that's not pork loin. Pork loin. You ever notice that? Like, the food is disgusting in our world now, or at least in America. The food is disgusting. It doesn't even look real. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't taste real. Oh, really? Nick disagrees? Really? I think, well, of course you can, but it's an effort. I mean like grocery store stuff, right? So I think you could like raise heirloom like pigs. Try to get stuff so it's a pig. It's got fur on it. It roots in mud and dirt, and it doesn't live in a sausage factory, right? All that kind of stuff. And so just like running around an island, and then so you can come to my island for barbecued pork ribs, fabulous rum aged in. I'll get port barrels or something, or bourbon barrels from the United States or something, and all that, and we'll smoke our cigars, growing on organic tobacco on my island. It'll be great. But Nick disagreed though. Nick, so are you a farmer? Do you raise animals? No, really? Yeah, it just seems to me everything is manufactured. It's all been bred into like everything's exactly the same, and I know from life everything is quite different. So just you just like your store-bought meat, really? Well, we'll just have to agree you're wrong. Like I buy Prime, man, and it's not even as good as it used to be. Now you can go Prime, dry aged or wet aged, but the average person doesn't spend $40 a pound on steak, right? No, I wouldn't. I'd never agree to disagree. We'd have to agree that he's wrong. Genetically engineered tasty yummy. Look, I've actually had pork not that long ago. I'm like, what is this? This isn't food. Honestly, it was injection molded. I think they had ground up food and squirted it into a mold or something. It was. Yeah, and I do that too, James, but it's a constant hunt. I'll give you a funny story. I paid like $150 a pound for a tomahawk chop. Had to fly it in from Chicago. I get this last minute phone call, like, sir, we have your steak. I'm like, oh, good. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, but we saw it off the bone. Is that still okay? Well, let me tell you, it was like supposed to be 1.5 pounds of meat, a ribeye, right? On the full rib that is like practically a meter long. So is it the same if they cut the bone off? Like, hell no, I don't want it. So you can't even get a butcher that specializes in this stuff to do it right. Yeah. So anyways, I've taken too much of your time today. It's the holidays, sorry, but I missed you. I mean, you're like my best friend, right? So it was just nice to catch up with you guys, man. A whole lot of trading, huh? I don't think this pound yen even moved. So amazing, huh? So peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. I think it's warm enough. I think I'll go outside, have a cup of coffee, smoke a cigar. I'll take my laptop. I'll watch the stock market open. Be really good. Make the best of it. Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Markets were closed yesterday, so I don't open shop if the markets are closed. But I knew it'd be deafening, the silence in the market. But we're here. We're alive, right? And I think tomorrow will be better. We got some Case Shiller coming up, but let me get that number for you. I'll hang on. Let's hang on just one more minute, and I'll give you a Case Shiller number. Yeah, it should be meetup, right? M-E-A-T. Yeah, it's pretty neat, huh? Any second now to Case Schiller. Any second now. Wait for it. Wait for it. 0.63, it's good. 5.10 annually, very good. Better than expected, good numbers. Better than expected. Boom! The market goes crazy. Case Schiller, man, it's out of control. So yeah, 0.63 is a big move month over month. Right? Put it this way, if you had $1 million house, you made $6,000 this month. $6,300. If you have a $500,000 house, you made $3,150 doing nothing. And that is called wealth. It has nothing to do with income. You didn't make any income. You have no income. You have to work for your income. Or cash out, right? But this is wealth. If you bought a $500,000 house, you made $3,150. You didn't even have to get out of bed. So the more investment you can accumulate, the less you have to work. You understand, right? Poor people work. So when I first started trading, I sat down with a tax advisor, a tax attorney actually, and he said, Wayne, there are two taxation systems in the United States. One for poor people, the other one for businesses. And I said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. That's how it works out. It's what you own. Poor people work, rich people own. And it's been like that forever. So think of it, if you had 10 properties worth $1 million each, you made $60,000 this month doing nothing. If you had 600 million, you made $600,000 doing nothing, right? You know, obviously you got to build that up, but okay. Yeah, sure, Pedro. I mean, we could talk about that. I'm not sure if there's an easy answer to it, but I'm certainly happy to talk. But you can almost like squeeze out of my discussion today when I talked about just having a 3-year plan so that you can survive the first year. I mean, my first goal was to be trading 4 years from the time I started trading. That was the goal because I'd be a better trader, right? But so imagine where you are in 10 years. Your ability to understand the market is going to be significantly better. So you may have no alpha now, but in 10 years you'll have some sort of alpha, and your alpha is your ability to beat the market. An amateur beats the market with leverage. A professional beats the market because they anticipate what the market's going to do before it does it, and they prepare. Big difference, right? And that may just be the experience. And how do you get the experience? You don't die. You trade every single day for 15 years, 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day. And you don't die. That's how you do it. If you can actively trade every single day for 15 years, you'll have some alpha, baby. Because you're a survivor. You're a killer. Because that's the world we live in, huh? Look at this. Just beautiful. So anyways, got to jump, babe. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And I hope to see you again tomorrow morning. Post your plans on Forex.Today. Post maybe some thoughts about what your new year is going to be like or what changes you make. Make some commitments publicly. How are you going to make 2017 significantly better? And I don't mean money-wise. I want you to do it pip-wise. Right? Yeah. So I'm always here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers. Thanks for being on my team, huh? Thanks for being a client at TradersWay as well.